You've heard the buzz. It's a technology that can write a symphony, design a building, even debate philosophy with you. It feels like it's completely reshaping our world, unlocking a level of creativity and speed we've only dreamed of. But, and this is a big but, with all that incredible power comes a really profound question. So today we're diving deep into generative AI, the promise and the peril. So, what is this stuff really? Well, at its core, generative AI isn't just about crunching numbers, it's about creating something brand new. Look at that definition from IBM. The key phrase here is original content. You give it a prompt, and boom, it can generate text, photorealistic images, even working software code. It's kind of like having a creative partner and a super smart assistant all rolled into one, a tool unlike anything we've ever had before. And that right there, that's the central tension of this whole revolution, isn't it? We've built this incredible machine that can create, well, just about anything. But in the rush to build it, did we stop and think enough about how to control it, about safety, about the consequences? That's the big looming question we're going to tackle. All right, first things first. Before we can really get into the dangers and, the solutions, we need to get on the same page about what this technology is and how it actually pulls off these amazing feats. Okay, so at its heart, generative AI is basically a master pattern spotter. It's built on these incredibly complex models that have been fed just a mind-boggling amount of data. We're talking huge chunks of the internet, books, images, you name it. It doesn't think, but it learns the connections, the styles, the rules, and the structures within all that data. And then it uses that knowledge to generate something that feels totally new and original. And I mean, just look at the range here. It's staggering. We're talking about everything from writing an email that sounds exactly like you to creating a jaw-dropping piece of art in a style that's never even existed before. It can compose music, it can write code that actually runs, it can even create fake data to help scientists run experiments. Its sheer versatility is what makes it so powerful. So, you might be asking, how on earth does a machine learn to be creative? Well, it's not magic, though it can definitely feel like it sometimes. It's actually a pretty methodical, three-step process that turns all that raw data into a powerhouse generative tool. So it all starts with training. This is where a giant foundation model gets its general education by absorbing a massive library of information. Think of it like sending the AI to college to get a broad knowledge of the world. Next comes tuning. This is like picking a major. The general model gets specialized for a specific job, like being a legal expert or a creative writer. And finally, you have generation. The AI creates stuff, and humans give it feedback, telling it what's good and what's not, which helps it get better and better over time. Now, to really appreciate what's happening, you have to look at the timeline. The speed here is just wild. We went from Eliza in 1964, which was a pretty simple pattern-matching chatbot, to the game-changing transformer architecture in 2017. That was the engine that made all this modern AI possible. And then, just 5 years later, ChatGPT put that incredible power into the hands of hundreds of millions of people. The pace isn't just fast, it's exponential. Okay, we've seen the promise. It's amazing, right? But every revolutionary technology has a flip side. And for generative AI, the risks are just as new and complex as the tech itself. And it's absolutely crucial that we understand them. 12. What's with the number 12? Well, that's the number of key risks that are either brand new or made much worse by generative AI. This comes from a huge report by the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. These are the folks who literally set the standards for technology in the U.S., so when they raise a red flag, you really need to listen. And they're not talking about minor glitches here. This is a whole spectrum of potential problems. We're talking about the AI just confidently making stuff up, amplifying the worst biases from its training data, and making it way easier to create disinformation or launch new cyber attacks on a massive scale. These are potential system-wide problems. So let's zoom in on one of the biggest risks you've probably heard about. People call it hallucination, but the experts at NIST use a better, more accurate word: confabulation. The AI isn't seeing things that aren't there. It's producing things that are flat out wrong, but it states them with such confidence that it's incredibly easy for us to be misled. And check this out. This table breaks down exactly how that can happen. You've got your basic factual mistakes, like just getting a date wrong. Then there are contextual errors, where it adds information that was never in the original document. And my personal favorite, intrinsic errors, where it literally contradicts itself in the same sentence. Knowing these types is so important for spotting them in the wild. And then there's the massive risk of harmful bias. Here's the thing. The AI learns from a snapshot of the internet. And well, the internet is full of our own human biases. So, if the data it learns from is biased, the AI becomes biased too. The NIST report gives this perfect example. Ask a model to generate an image of a CEO, and it's very likely to underrepresent women and racial minorities because it's just reflecting the patterns it found in its training data. Okay, I know this all sounds pretty serious, and it is. But here's the good news. This isn't some dystopian future we just have to accept. Smart people, researchers, policymakers, engineers, are working really hard on building frameworks to make AI responsible and safe. Let's take a look at what they're doing. And remember NIST, the agency that identified all those risks? Well, they're not just pointing out problems, they're creating solutions. They've built this incredibly detailed AI risk management framework. You can think of it as a playbook for companies, a guide on how to build and use AI safely, ethically, and responsibly. It's all about getting proactive. So how do you actually stop an AI from making things up? Well, one of the most powerful techniques is called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG for short. The best way to think about it is like giving the AI an open book test. Instead of only relying on what it learned in training, it gets to access a live, up-to-date, fact-checked library of information before it gives you an answer. This grounds its answers in reality, and it's a total game changer. But it's not just on the developers. We, as users, have a huge amount of power here. I mean, just look at the difference on this slide. On the left, you've got a vague prompt that's basically just hoping for the best. But on the right, you have a specific, detailed prompt that tells the AI exactly how to answer. The difference in the quality and safety of the result is night and day. And there's a really easy way to remember how to write better prompts. Just think ICE. I is for instructions, be direct and specific. C is for constraints, add boundaries, tell it what to use and what not to use. And E is for escalation, give it an out, a safe way to say I don't know. Using the IC method can dramatically improve how reliable these tools are for you. So after all that, where does that leave us? We've got this incredible, world-changing technology on one hand, and on the other, a whole new class of complex, serious risks. The good news is we're already starting to build the roadmap to manage them. You know, in the end, the future of this technology isn't just about writing better code or building bigger data centers. We have the tools, we're developing the frameworks to build safer, more responsible AI. The final and most important question is a human one. Will we have the wisdom and the will to actually use them? That's the challenge that's ahead for all of us.